Assalamu alaikum everyone. So we were starting with angles. So till now we have studied related angles. Complementary angle we studied, isn't it? Whenever two angles are said to be complementary if the sum is equal to 90 degrees, isn't it? And supplementary angles are what? Repeat this loudly. Complementary, supplementary. Okay, complementary means sum of two angles. If it is 90 degrees, measures of angles, if it is 90 degrees, you call that angles as complementary. And if the angles or the sum of the angle measurements, if it is equal to 180 degrees, those are supplementary angles. And we studied adjacent angles in the last video. I hope you remember we had three rules. They should have a common vertex, and then you should have a common arm, okay, and there should be non-common arms on either side. That is, on both the sides you need to have non-common arms. Then only you will say the two angles are adjacent. If one of the point is not true, okay, if it is not fulfilling, then those are not adjacent angles. Okay, after that we studied linear angle, isn't it? What is linear angle? Linear, you call as a linear pair, okay, when you have 180 degrees for your adjacent angles. Okay, so don't get confused with the linear angle and the supplementary angle. Both they say 180 degrees, but linear angles should, two angles for the linear angle, a linear pair, two angles should be first adjacent. Okay, this it should be adjacent, and the adjacent angle sum, if it is 180 degrees, then you say it as a linear pair. Okay, supplementary angles are what? Simply any angle, if the sum is 180 degrees, then you call it a supplementary angle. For the angles to be linear pair, first it should be adjacent, and then the sum should be 180 degrees. After that we studied vertical angles, vertically opposite angles, isn't it? So vertically opposite angles are what? So exactly opposite angle is vertically opposite. So 30 degrees, here also it will be 30 degrees. Okay, now based on the previous angles what we studied, let's do one example. Okay, I have two lines intersecting, okay, and forming four angles. But out of that I just know only 160 angle. Okay, this angle I know. So you need to find what is x, what is y, and what is z. Okay, so tell me what. It's very easy, you can easily say what is your y equal to. Yes, since it is vertically opposite angle, your 160 degree will be equal to, that is y will be equal to 160 degrees, isn't it? Okay, so you have got y. Now what about x and z? How you will find? So see, we know y, okay. So what you can say, you have angle x and angle y. They are what? They are adjacent angles, isn't it? Angle x and angle y, y are adjacent angles, isn't it? So now tell me, you can form a linear pair for it, isn't it? Angle x and y are adjacent angles. Okay, now I can form the linear pair angle x plus angle y will be equal to how much? 180 degrees for linear pair. Okay, so we know what is our angle y. So angle x will be equal to 180 minus angle y, that is 160 degrees. So this is angle 180 minus 160. So how much you'll get? It is 20 degrees, isn't it? Okay, so you have got your x as 20 degrees. What about Z now? Since it is vertically opposite angle to X, you will take this also as 20 degrees. Okay, so any problem given, this is how you will solve. Alright, I hope it's clear for everyone. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. So we know that whenever two lines are intersecting, okay, they will intersect at some common point. This is called as point of intersection. You already know about this. So I have lines L and M, okay, line segments L and M, both intersecting at some point. This is called as point of intersection. All right, now that was your intersecting lines. Now next type of line is, what you need to know is, you have transversal line. What do you mean by transversal lines? A transverse line, transversal on two lines, okay, any two lines. If a line is passing through the cutting, okay, if the on these two lines L and M, if a line is cutting to, okay, one more line, that is called, this is called as transverse. Okay, transverse line. This line, it is cutting the two lines at obviously 2 points, isn't it? So now at these 2 points you will have, you're going to form many angles now, isn't it? So there are different angles formed because of this transverse line. So now it's a time for us to learn about all these. So you're going to get many angles because of the transverse line cutting the two lines. Alright, so before we studied about intersecting of two lines, but now we are going to study the angles. Okay, before we studied the angles formed by intersecting the two lines. Now we are going to study the angles formed by a transversal line. Okay, so if you have any two lines like this, okay, P is a transversal and L and M are the line segments, and they are cutting at two, this transversal line is cutting it at a line at this point on L line and at this point on M line. Okay, now it's time for us to study the different angles formed, okay, because of this transversal. Alright, so just remember, see, this angles which are inside, okay, so this is a pair of angles. Alright, so this inside is this side, isn't it? So these angles are called interior angles. Okay, if I give numbering something like this, 1 2 3 4, okay, and this has 4 5 6 7. So interior angles are what? 1 2 4 5. Interior means अंदर के angles. Exterior angles are what? 4 3 7 6. Okay, that is, they are outside, they are not inside these two lines, they are outside the line. So it is 4 3 7 6. They are called as exterior angles, मतलब बाहर के angles. Okay, so remember these things in this, and we will move further and study about it now. Since because of this transversal line, okay, since it is cutting the two lines, you will get many angles, and obviously questions on these on this transversal line, you are going to get many. Okay, so angles, because angles made by them are each transversal line which is passing with the two lines, okay, parallel or any line, so it will form 8 angles, isn't it? This we can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So 8 angles are formed. Okay, interior angles are 4, exterior angles are 4. Okay, so let's see one by one the relation between them. Okay, so as I've told you, interior angles are what? Inside angles. Okay, so from this figure you can say this angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, angle 6 are interior angles, and exterior angles are what? Angle 1, angle 2, angle 7, angle 8, isn't it? That is what we've got here. The next type of angles formed are corresponding angles. What do you mean by corresponding angles? What are corresponding angles in this transversal, whenever a transversal is intersecting two pair of lines? Okay, so angles which are at same position, okay, जो same position पे है, those angles we call them as corresponding angles. See, whenever I say some angle, try to repeat that angle at least 4 to 5 times loudly, either whenever you're watching a video or doing some problem. What will happen is, when you repeat it again and again, it will become easy for you to read out and also remember. Okay, it will be stored in your memory. So that's why repetition is important. Okay, so always whenever before you start, okay, or after watching the video, then at that time you need to just note down those angles and repeat those angles again and again. Okay, okay, so when we have a transversal, okay, cutting two lines, so we get many angles in this formed. So interior angles and exterior angles are easy to remember, isn't it? Interior means inside angles, exterior means outside angles. Now we are going to study next angle is corresponding angles. I think after this, for today we can stop. After this corresponding angles, and the rest angles of this transversal line we will study in the next video. Okay, so what are corresponding angles? Angles which are at same position. Same position means, see, you have one here, okay, this is one तो यहाँ पर है, that is ये ट्रांसवर्स लाइन है, ओके, और ये एक लाइन को कट करते हुए, तो at this position there is one. So the same position will be of one will be, other angle is 5, because ये ट्रांसवर्स लाइन है, दूसरे लाइन को यहाँ पर it is getting intersect, and this angle which is sitting here, these two are 1 and 5 are same. Now next let's see for 2, what is the same angle for 2? It is 6. See 3, ये जो 3 जो है नीचे की तरफ आ रहा with this line, so 7 is coming in the same, isn't it? So 4 also, it is coming on the left side down, so 8 is also coming in the left side down. So 4 and 8 and 3 and 7, 1 and 5, 2 and 6 form corresponding angles. Okay, so let's see here again. ठीक है, अब मेरे पास सपोज A है, तो A का corresponding angle would be what? Here. Okay, I will take this as E. Okay, now tell me corresponding angle of B. It is here. This is F. Corresponding angle of C will be here. I will take this as G. Okay, corresponding angle of D, मतलब नीचे की तरफ आ रहा on the left side. So here on this transverse line down on the left side, it becomes this angle. So इसको I will name it as H. Okay, so this is how corresponding angles mean, which are at same positions. A is at same position as that of E, or you can say E is sitting here, so you will same position angle, if you see it is A. Okay, B, F, C, G, D, H. Okay, these are your corresponding angles. Okay, so till now we studied about all the angles. Okay, first when two lines are intersecting, we got only 4 angles. Okay, based on this we studied what are those angles. First was that is related angles we studied was complementary. Okay, after complementary, what you have? Supplementary, isn't it? Complementary are what? If the sum of angle is 90 degrees. Okay, any two angles, if I take, if okay, if the sum is 90 degrees, you call it as complementary. Supplementary is what? Sum of the angles. One, if they are 180 degrees, it is supplementary. After that we studied adjacent. Okay, after that we studied linear pair. Linear pair is what? Two angles, two adjacent angles sum if it is 180 degrees. Okay, adjacent angle sum, it is 180 degrees, then you say they form a linear pair. Okay, okay. So after adjacent we studied vertically opposite angles, isn't it? Vertically opposite angles. So here you can say, what is vertically opposite angle to B? It is D. To A it is C. Vertically opposite angle to E is G. Vertically opposite angle to F is H. Okay, so after that this you have 8 vertically opposite angles in this kind of figures. Okay, sorry, that means 4 pairs are there. Okay, so after that we have now come to the transversal line. Okay, the angles formed by the transversal line, we have 8 angles formed in it. So interior angles are inside angles, exterior angles are outside angles. Okay, and the next angle we studied was corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are what? We have the angles which are at same position. All right, I hope you will repeat these angles again and again. You need to repeat it louder. Okay, and I am repeating these angles again and again so that you can remember it very well and it becomes easy for you. Okay, I will stop till here in this video. I will take off from you all for now. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.